I still think we're in huge problems there, Michael, especially along the coastal zones. It's going to be right there. They are going to get hurricane strength winds there, and if it comes just a little farther west, we're in the cone of uncertainty that it could still do that by all stretches of the imagination. It would still mean devastation for the coast side. It's going to mean big hurricane winds on the coast side, and if it comes farther to the west, those hurricane winds still extend into the interior and could reach downtown Orlando. Let me go ahead and talk about the now. This is what's happening right now. We have a flood warning in effect. Come with me over to the big wall here and I'll show you exactly what's going on. This area has been rocked by heavy rain throughout the last few hours. The onshore flow with the feeder bands coming in put down big rain all across the area from Daytona Beach to the Villages to Leesburg, right in there. How much rain are we talking about? Well, you'll see in just a moment, but inches. Copious amounts of rain, upwards of 3 inches, falling all across the area. What that has done for us is that it has made it available to have that flood warning. This activity that we're having here, the aerial flood watch goes until 8 o'clock for everyone all across the area. But we're talking about a flood warning in this zone from Daytona Beach all the way down to the Villages because of all the rain we've picked up. Here we go. Doppler estimates. I promised these, I know, 40 minutes ago, but we're able to get them on now. South of Sanford, we've already picked up 3.5 inches, almost 4 inches right there in the Longwood, Apopka area, 3.6 in western Orange County, somewhere around the Winter Garden Zone, and you get south of Claremont, 2.5 inches. So in that band of activity where the rain started and the hits just kept on coming, we've picked up in some spots already 4 inches. We'll get to other total estimates a little later for the storm, but that's a bunch of rain all of a sudden here, and we're just now we're not even a third of the way through. We're tracking this thing. We're going until at least 11 o'clock tomorrow night. Here we go. Here's the track that everyone was hopping up and down about, which does have a little bit of good news for us, but not a total clear. Take a look. Maximum sustained winds 130 miles per hour, movement northwest at 13. The track, instead of being right on top of the shoreline here in Central Florida, is off the coast by about 20, maybe 24 miles. So it's kind of gone back to where it was 48 hours ago when we were all alarmed that it had nudged so very close to the shore. Then they started putting it right on the shoreline. A close-up view of this will explain what I mean. 24 to 4, I'm losing track of my days now because this is early Friday morning. So it was sometime around Tuesday into Wednesday that they put it right off our shoreline, and all of a sudden, we knew then we were in for it. During the last 24 hours, it's been right along the coastline, and then tonight, they nudged it back out to the east. If this storm follows that direct path and moves just off our shoreline, then it will bode well for those across the interior because it takes a lot of the hurricane force winds out. When we first came on earlier this afternoon, when I got in here at 2 o'clock, we were talking about which way the hurricane force winds extend out. Mostly to the north and to the east. To the west, they only come out about 30 or 35 miles. All the storms are right-handed. This one's winds are way out in front and to the right. So if it stays 24 miles off the shore, that means the hurricane force winds never really eat in farther than just a couple of miles onshore, and everyone else gets tropical storm force winds. If it nudges just a little farther to the west, if it does that spin around and wobbles and shakes itself in, then all of a sudden, we've got bigger problems. Right now, sustained wind 38 miles per hour in Daytona Beach and 37 in Melbourne. But look at what just happened. Daytona Beach in a rain band picked up a 51 mile per hour wind gust, and down in Melbourne, a 51 mile per hour wind gust here as well. That's a rough run into the night. Orlando's wind gust just hit 37. So the wind is here, starting to ramp up to tropical storm force strength already as we go past the midnight hour. The eye of this thing has deepened in the last several hours, expanding out, 2 eyes circling, concentric circles there. It's an impressive system. I talked about this earlier tonight when we first came on in the afternoon, that it was more of a small hurricane trapped inside a big tropical storm, with tropical storm winds extending out well to the west and the front of the thing. And most of the hurricane winds somewhere within like a 40-mile radius from the eye, or 30 to the west. That's what the eye looks like right now, kind of spinning around inside itself. It's now 71 miles away from us in southern Brevard County. So the farther it can go to the north without nudging on land, the better things are looking for us across the interior. So here we go. As far as the interior goes with big rain, let's cruise into DeLeon Springs. Highway 17, 15A right there, getting big rain just to the west of DeLeon Springs. Forest Hills getting the big rain too. A few scattered showers, picking up lighter rain activity in there in the green. I put that cursor down on all the green spots. South of Eustis, it's raining at 1.25 inches per hour, and you zoom in really tight right there. Mount Dora raining at about 1 inch per hour there. Tangerine also raining, and out to Tavares, out 46 to 441. The rainfall rates are still about 1 inch an hour. Future radar shows the approach of the storm system coming up close to Melbourne, probably by, say, 3 or 4 in the morning. About 3 hours from now, it's going to be very, very close. Here's Friday at midnight. The clouds and rain forecast keep trying to nudge the eye onshore around Melbourne and then take it out straight up the coast through Volusia County, getting it up close to Flagler County by about 4 or 5 tomorrow evening, and then rapid improvement. The wind at first will all be from the north, knifing in here from the north-northeast. It'll be at its heaviest, and then as we go through the day tomorrow, into the afternoon, it all comes from the west, and then the southwest into the late night hours tomorrow night, into Saturday. Saturday's looking much better in the afternoon, and then Sunday, things do begin to dry out. Watches and warnings for tonight. The hurricane warning is in effect for just about everyone, except the yellow zones to the west of Orlando. You have the tropical storm warning in effect, and total rainfall between now and Saturday morning at 3 a.m. We showed you some areas have already picked up almost 4 inches of rain. We're talking 10 inches of rain possible at the Cape, almost 7 in Palm Coast. And here's the storm surge numbers that Candace has been talking about all evening. Some of these storm surge numbers may back it down just a little bit if the eye of the storm stays out to the open waters. We'll be back in just a few more minutes with another radar tour and an update on where we think it's going. Back to the anchor desk.